Busta Rhymes is heated right now, and where it is, he's threatening 50 Cent over some wild footage that's supposedly about to surface in 50's upcoming documentary on Diddy.
These sensitive ass that just came out of this little, I don't know where they come from, but niggas be getting wild emotional. Niggas be turning into big super police. Just be trying to have fun.
If Busta ever try to film me, hit you with no delay, so what you saying, yo? Silly with that 9 milli, but the devil, yo. Yeah, I do his better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show.
Yeah, things are getting messy real quick. See, 50's been stacking up dirt on Diddy in those infamous private parties for years.
I don't really like to speak on situations that I'm not well versed in, and that's not really my situation. You know what I'm saying? But I wish the best for everyone involved. God bless everyone involved. And, you know, I think that we should all kind of be a little more mindful of how much we speak on other things when it's as sensitive as this.
But now, insiders are whispering that Busta's name ain't just on the guest list, he's all up in the action. The real kicker, sources claim there's actual footage of Busta deep in the cut with Diddy, getting real cozy at one of those parties. And that ain't even the craziest part.
Busta, I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations?
I don't pay attention to none of it. I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth.
Remember big homie CC, Busta's former bodyguard? A few months back, he straight up said that Busta's had a thing for fun boys for a long time. According to him, folks in the club scene been knew what was going down. Promoters would allegedly set things up so Busta had a fresh batch of young men waiting in VIP every time he rolled through. It was just part of the routine. Now, fast forward to today, and it's looking like 50 Cent might have video proof to back up every word. Rumors are flying that one of Diddy's wild parties was caught on tape showing Busta and Diddy involved in a full-blown freak fest with multiple dudes, and it's being said those guys were ex-workers Diddy personally brought in. But wait, it don't stop there. Multiple men are now coming forward saying Busta allegedly made some weird, inappropriate moves on them too. They're claiming that whenever they ran into him, Busta was always on that let's party Diddy style vibe. They say he kept pressing them, trying to reel them in. At this point, it's looking real bad for Busta.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now.
I'm walking through the crowd and somebody grabs my hand. Just softly put their hand in my hand and just holding it. So I look, you know, and I see this big chain that said flip mode. I look up and it's Busta Rhymes.
If all this ends up in 50's Netflix documentary, those threats Busta's tossing around won't stop a thing. If anything, he just made himself the main character in the drama. So now everybody's asking, what's Busta so scared of? What dirt does 50 really have on him that's making him spiral like this? Let's dive in and really unpack it all. With all the heat surrounding Busta Rhymes lately, you already know 50 Cent wasn't gonna just sit quiet, not a chance. Right before hitting the stage with Busta at the Humor and Harmony Comedy Fest, 50 started throwing shade and cracking jokes like only he can. He even dragged up that infamous yellow outfit Busta wore to the 1999 MTV VMAs. Yeah, that one. 50 posted a pic of it and said, Busta cannot wear this to Humor and Harmony. Busta, I don't care who made the outfit, you better pull up to Shreveport in something fresh. Ha! The internet went nuts. But Busta wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back with an AI-generated pic of 50 looking wild and wrote, I keep telling y'all the blessings don't stop, so we ain't never gonna stop. I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent, and you out here looking like this. Don't let me catch you practicing this look in the mirror before Shreveport. The back and forth seemed funny at first, just some friendly trolling, right? Well, turns out it might have been way deeper than jokes. Now, insiders are saying 50 was actually serious and that he's sitting on some explosive footage of Busta with Diddy. But before we even get to that, let's talk about the whispers that have been circling around for years, the VIP party rumors.
I seen you talking about Busta Rhymes before
Oh yeah.
in some of your videos.
Oh yeah. Super zest monster. For sure, bro. That's my thing, bro. Like, this been common knowledge, though. Like, all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some, we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta.
So check this. Busta's ex-bodyguard, Big Homie CC, recently sat down with the Art of Dialogue, and he did not hold back. He called Busta a super zest monster and said Busta's been moving real suspicious when it comes to younger men for a long time. Big Homie claims it's been one of those everybody knows type secrets in the industry, especially among club promoters. Allegedly, whenever Busta got booked for a party, it wasn't just about the money. Promoters already knew the deal. They had to make sure Busta's VIP section came with a certain type of entertainment, young dudes who fit a very specific vibe.
Cause you know, I bodyguarded for Ghostface Killah before, you feel me? And being around him, you hear things, you feel me? I'm like, damn. And my auntie like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan, you feel me? Like every cookout she playing it, all his little fast rapping, all of that, him and Craig Mack playing that.
And Big Homie didn't stop there. He even spilled about one wild night in the club when Busta locked eyes on a friend of actor and model Don Benjamin, a gay man. According to Big Homie, the second Busta saw dude, it was game time. No hesitation. Busta supposedly yanked him straight into the VIP like he was claiming him on sight. Big Homie didn't hold nothing back. He claimed Busta wouldn't even let that man leave VIP. Said Busta was all over him the entire night, making sure dude stayed right by his side. And this wasn't just no random incident. According to Big Homie, this was the norm. Promoters already knew the assignment. Every time Busta showed up, they had to bring out the clean-cut, flashy-looking men to keep him entertained in his section. Once Busta locked eyes on someone, it was a done deal. Big Homie said Busta kept calling that man cute all night and made it clear he wasn't letting him go. And apparently, once you got pulled into Busta's VIP, you wasn't just casually chilling, you were locked in. But here's where things take a whole other turn. Big Homie dropped a major claim. He said the industry has known about Busta's real preferences for over 10 years. When asked why nobody ever put it out there, Big Homie's answer was straight up. Everybody wants to be in that VIP with Busta. Basically, folks stayed quiet because access was more valuable than truth.
I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us.
Then Big Homie hit with another bombshell that barely been talked about. Busta's alleged past of putting hands on women. He didn't go too deep, but he hinted that there might be something darker underneath. According to him, like some men living double lives, Busta could be holding on to deep resentment towards women, and that might explain some of his actions. And don't get it twisted, this ain't just one bodyguard trying to stir drama. A whole lineup of dudes have come forward with their own wild Busta stories. Back in 2020, social media personality Trip Ali jumped on YouTube and said Busta personally tried to pick him up in New York while he was on his way to a Halloween party.
Trip claimed Busta invited him into his VIP, and at first he thought it was just your average club moment. But nah, what happened next? Way more intense than he expected. Things took a wild left turn when Trip Ali ended up in a heated argument with his own friend, all because the friend wasn't trying to roll to Busta's party.
Busta, I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations?
I don't pay attention to none of it. I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth.
The tension got so real, it turned into a full-blown fight in the middle of the street. Trip was so rattled, he called off the whole night. And to make it worse, his friend dipped out and left him stranded alone in NYC. Looking back, that might have been a major save, because who knows what really could have gone down if Trip had made it into Busta's VIP that night. Now fast forward to 2021, and the whispers started flying again. Word on the street was that Busta was back on the scene, allegedly trying to pull men once again. And just when people thought it couldn't get any messier, paparazzi reportedly caught him leaving a gay pride event, and not alone either. He was seen with a trans woman, and the blogs ate that up. But wait, it gets even crazier. Just recently, Orlando Brown had social media in chaos again after he started name-dropping during one of his explosive rants. He claimed he had been intimate with multiple industry men, and he didn't just say Diddy's name, he threw Busta in there too, along with a whole roster of others. Made love with? That's what he said. Now, most people tend to write Orlando off when he starts going off like that, but here's the thing. In some of his more recent interviews, where he sounds way more calm and focused, a lot of folks are starting to wonder if there's some truth sprinkled in those wild confessions. Now, whether or not Busta's really on the DL, there's something else that needs attention. Just like Diddy, Busta's got a history of laying hands on people for the pettiest reasons. His rap sheet goes back years. In 2006, prosecutors tried to slap him with a weapons charge after an incident involving a random dude on the street. And get this, according to Billboard, they said Busta had a machete tucked away in his ride. Then in 2007, Busta was back in headlines again, this time for allegedly roughing up his own driver over some money issues. He eventually pled guilty to both charges and got hit with 3 years probation, but that was far from the end of the drama. Back in 2009, the New York Post dropped a bomb. Busta had to pay up $75,000 to a fan who claimed Busta lost it during a performance. According to the fan, all he did was try to leave the show early after realizing Fabulous wasn't performing like he expected. Sounds harmless, right? But Busta allegedly wasn't having it. The man said as he stood up to leave, Busta snapped and yelled, "Get down, I'm not good enough for you?" Then, boom, he allegedly chucked 2 water bottles at the guy and even told his bodyguard to punch him in the face. All that just because someone didn't stay for the full set? Wild. And honestly, knowing Busta's explosive temper, it kinda makes sense that he's been so tight with Diddy since the 90s. But it ain't just about the rage. These two allegedly share another twisted connection, a thing for younger men. And the way Busta's been moving lately, it's raising a lot of eyebrows. See, when the first wave of allegations started crashing down on Diddy, what did Busta do? He popped up real quick telling fans to wait before forming opinions. Now, why would you feel the need to say that unless you were trying to low-key protect someone, or maybe even yourself? Let's not forget, we're talking about serious accusations here. DVSA, multiple lawsuits, people allegedly getting hurt, and minors being mentioned. So telling the public to mind their business in a moment like that, it ain't a good look, not at all. But now that the whole Diddy scandal has exploded, with federal raids, headline-grabbing lawsuits, and an actual indictment, suddenly Busta's quiet, real quiet, acting like he don't even know Diddy. But folks ain't buying it. He can duck questions and play dumb all he wants, but the pressure's building fast. And now, word in the streets is 50 Cent's got something lined up that might force Busta to face everything he's been dodging. This upcoming Diddy documentary is about to shake the whole industry, and yes, it's reportedly naming names, including Busta Rhymes. And if there's one thing everybody knows about 50 Cent, it's that he never forgets. He's one of the few rappers who flat out refused to get caught up in the Diddy party scene. He saw through the smoke early and peeped all the shady stuff going down behind closed doors. But see, 50's not just some loudmouth, he moves with precision. Just because he wasn't partying with Diddy doesn't mean he wasn't watching closely. Best believe he was out there playing the long game, keeping quiet while taking mental notes on every single rapper who said yes to those mysterious invitations. And now, his moment's finally here. Word on the street is that this documentary is about to be the industry's biggest nightmare. No filters, no sugarcoating. And according to sources close to the project, nobody is safe. These whispers about rappers freaking off with Diddy at those exclusive parties have been around for years, and now insiders are saying Busta Rhymes is definitely on that list. People have been suspicious for a long time, but this time 50's aiming to back it up with real receipts, footage, stories, names, everything. And he's not playing. The documentary is being produced by none other than G-Unit Film and Television Inc., so you know it's coming with pressure and production value. The official release date hasn't dropped yet, but one thing's clear. When this doc hits the screen, a whole lot of secrets are coming out, and a whole lot of reputations might not survive. What's really got the industry shook right now is that folks are saying 50 Cent already has the footage locked and loaded, including scenes that show exactly who was getting down at those infamous Diddy parties. And here's where things get even crazier. Insiders are whispering that the Busta Rhymes clips, they're way more intense than anybody expected.
Allegedly, the footage doesn't just show Busta hanging around. It shows him fully participating. No confusion, no misinterpretation. We're talking VIP level access to what really went down behind them velvet ropes. And the people who've seen snippets, they're saying this could end careers, especially for those who've been fronting like they had nothing to do with that lifestyle. Now keep in mind, this ain't about shaming anybody for how they live. That's not the issue. The real drama comes from the fact that some of these rappers built their whole image off being hyper-masculine, tough, and untouchable, while allegedly living a completely different reality in the shadows. Busta's name getting tied to this mess has sent shockwaves through hip-hop, because let's be real, he's been in the game for decades, and his fan base never saw this coming. But if 50 really drops these receipts, it's gonna force people to reevaluate everything they thought they knew. And here's the wild part. People close to 50 are saying he's been waiting for the right time. He didn't rush it. He let everybody talk, let the rumors fly, and let Diddy's scandals take the spotlight first. But now, he's setting up for the final blow. A chess move, not checkers. The streets are already buzzing, and when this documentary airs, it'll be the first time the public truly sees the uncut version of what's been going down in the upper layers of the music world. And Busta, if he really is on that footage the way people are saying, this might be a storm he can't dodge. One thing's for sure, once 50 presses play, there's no turning back. And here's the kicker, the documentary is officially set to drop on Netflix. Plus, it's being directed by Alex Stapleton, the Emmy-winning filmmaker and executive producer behind some of the realest docs out there. So yeah, this ain't gonna be some low-budget gossip piece. This is high-level, polished, and ready to rattle the whole industry with facts. But wait, it gets messier. Word is, Busta Rhymes already knows what's coming. Sources close to him say he's been scrambling behind the scenes, trying to pull strings, making calls, and even personally warning 50 Cent to keep his name out of the dock. He's doing everything he can to stay out the blast zone. But come on, if you know anything about 50, you know that warning him is the worst move you can make. That man don't fold. He lives for this kind of pressure. The moment you try to silence him, that's when he turns the heat up to 100. So if Busta's name really is in those receipts, best believe 50 is not cutting him out now. In fact, he's probably getting the whole segment. Now here's the real question. What's Busta so stressed about? If there's really nothing to hide, why not just brush it off and move on? But instead, he's out here panicking, ducking questions, and trying to play cleanup behind the scenes. So what's he really running from? Let's hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Busta's name is really tied up in Diddy's mess, or is he just getting dragged by association? And more importantly, is 50 Cent's Netflix documentary about to shake the game like never before? Hit that like button if you're locked in. Subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. We're exposing it all. Share this with someone who needs to hear the real tea. And don't forget to comment below. I'm checking all of them. This is only the beginning. See you on the next one.